Hello, Activation Nation, and welcome to this very special edition of Activate Thursday. I should say happy Thanksgiving if you happen to actually be watching it on the day. My name is Tyler Horton. I'm the Senior Director of Global Product Marketing here at LifeVantage, and with me is
Lisa Barnes, and I am the VP of Research and Development.
Welcome, Lisa.
Thank
you.
Yeah,
again, happy Thanksgiving if you are taking time out of your busy day to actually watch this. As of Thursday morning at 9 a.m., I will have participated in a 90-minute heated spin class. So this may be the last you ever see of me because I may not have survived. I don't know.
Hey, I will have run a half marathon by then. So we just may be crawling back into work next week.
So we will have both preemptively earned the calories that we will then
That was
eat
completely the plan.
Total plan.
Yes.
So today we wanted to talk to you about a couple of topics, both related to the changing weather, right?
Yes.
Like I know in the drive-in this morning, my car said 30 degrees. We had our first real kind of snowfall this past Sunday into Monday. Not a lot of snow, but enough that it kind of stuck. So winter is definitely here, even though it doesn't officially start until December 21st. Fall is over, winter's here, right?
It is, and I'm dreading it a little bit. I mean, I am definitely not a snow person, but it is making its presence known. And so it is, yes, it was sticking to my lawn on Sunday. And I was trying to just pretend it wasn't existing, but that's not working.
Yeah, definitely had to get out the coats and gloves. So with that, you know, what happens to our bodies? Like one thing that I have certainly noticed in the past few weeks as it's gotten colder and drier here in Utah is I'm going through way more lotion than I typically do. My skin is like dry and tight and itchy. Like what's causing that, Lisa?
Yeah, so your skin is really used to consistency. It wants to be in the same environment all the time. And so that's where its happy place is. So it likes when the weather stays constant for a while. However, that's not the world we live in. We are faced with more extreme highs and extreme lows. And so your skin has to adapt, but it doesn't always adapt very quickly to these changing. And so as a result, a lot of times your skin barrier is impacted. So you're having kind of disruptions in your barrier, less ceramides, less of your inner hydration. And so as a result, your skin is just drying up. It's not being able to keep up with all of the dryness in the environment.
And why don't you just tell us real quickly, what is the skin barrier? What's it do?
Yeah, so it's really your first layer of defense against the outside. You have the multiple layers of your skin and you have your epidermis, which is that outside layer. And so it is essentially a brick and mortar model. So your skin cells are the bricks, your ceramides are the mortar, and they essentially keep moisture in and they keep irritants out. However, if that barrier is disrupted and you lose ceramides and you lose kind of that mortar between the bricks, it becomes vulnerable. So moisture starts seeping out, and then a lot of irritants can start kind of getting in.
Actually losing moisture from your skin.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
It's called transepidermal water loss, to use the fancy word.
Well,
so that's something you can throw around at a party. Just like drop Tool, transepidermal water loss, and you'll be the cool one.
You're so smart and so nerdy. I love it. I love it.
I have to throw in them every once in a while to be like, yes, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I was complaining about the skin on my body being itchy, like my elbows, my knees, my back, but it happens to your face just as well, right?
Well, exactly. Because in addition to just the weather changing, there's some habits that change as well as it gets colder. So some of the things we do as it gets colder is we're going to be in the heat more, which is going to dry out our skin.
Central heat definitely dries you out. Yeah.
Our CMO, Julie Boyster, she lives with a heating pad on her. So she literally is just cooking herself constantly with this heating pad. So she's drying out her skin when she does that. I do the same thing. We take more hot showers because we're cold.
That's true.
And so we're drying out our skin that way. So there's just a multitude of factors, even just beyond the weather being cold itself.
Yeah, and just being outside, like obviously skiing is really big here in Utah. So you're exposed to the elements, the frigid air, the wind, things like that. That's all going to kind of like irritate our skin, right?
Exactly. And so it'll irritate all the skin that's exposed. And a lot of times our face, I mean, that's one of the few things we don't cover up very well. And so it's just impacted by all of the weather that's out there. And so as a result, your barrier is compromised. And so you're just feeling kind of irritated, dry, and just not glowing.
So not glowing. Yeah, that's important. We all want to glow during the holidays, right?
Well, exactly. You don't want to look. I mean, you're going to be seeing all the relatives that you never see. Yeah. So you don't want to be looking like not like kind of dull,
decrepit. Yeah.
decrepit.
So, all right, if that's all the factors that are causing our skin to lose its natural moisture, what can we do to offset that?
Okay, so that's where True Science comes in, and kind of our multi-step kind of system to be able to address multiple pieces of that. So I think where it starts is cleansing. Because you still need to continue to cleanse your face, even as there's different weather factors changing. But what's key is that you don't want to strip your skin's natural moisture, because that is going to cause it to dry out faster. That's losing the mortar between your bricks. And so it's going to cause all that irritation. So if you have an incredibly gentle cleanser, like our cleanser, you're able to maintain your skin's natural moisture barrier while still removing the dirt and grime and debris and everything from just day-to-day life. So it's that balance of the right amount of cleansing, but the right amount of leaving the moisture on your skin so your skin can stay hydrated.
So you want to cleanse your skin, but you don't want to lose those natural oils that are beneficial to our skin quality, right?
Correct.
So don't just use that green bar of Irish Spring, right? Don't use that on your face.
Yes, yes. Okay. We use that in clinicals if we really want to strip somebody's face. Like that is... Yes, that will remove everything. And some people love that, but I love my skin to not feel tight, because I think that's the worst feeling in the world, when it feels tight and just stiff and you don't feel like you can emote like you normally do. And so gentle cleansing is step one. Now, step two, because we are the activation company, and for those who may be joining for the first time, activation is our differentiation. Activation is really going to the root of what's going on in your body, and in this case, your skin, seeing what's been impacted by aging, or in this case, weather, and then partnering with your body to perfectly perfectly in tune with it to help upregulate or downregulate processes so it works better. So in this case, your skin barrier is, some of the components in it are being downregulated. And so it is perfectly partnering to be able to go along with that skin barrier and help it to be stronger. So the product in our line that does that is our True Renew, which is our latest launch. It has many different functions. It does skin renewal. It partners with our Healthy Glow. But in this case, it's really that partnering with the moisture barrier that makes it key for those winter months. Right.
So True Renew, it's all about anti-aging. It fights 11 visible signs of aging. It's a better than retinol alternative, right? So that's really how we talk about this product. But in regards to the topic we're talking about today, which is skin dryness and winter weather, we really want to focus on how it affects the moisture barrier.
Correct. So with this one, you have the wild pansy, which really supports your skin's natural hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid, it's some of that the natural moisturizing factor within your skin. And so once again, partnering with your body's natural systems to allow it to stay hydrated. And then you have another perfect partner with our algae complex, which is really kind of helping to support some of the other parts of the skin barrier, those ceramides, so that you're having a more intact skin barrier and it's strengthened.
Again, locking in that moisture.
Locking in the moisture.
Okay, we want to lock it in. So we start with our cleanser, then True Renew. What next?
Correct, because that's our treatment. And then we need to add the moisture in, because we are losing it. So we want to help our body's own natural moisture, but in the winter, it's hard for our body to keep up. So it needs the extra help. So now that we have helped our skin barrier be strengthened, we can now add the moisture, because it'll stay. We're not going to be losing that moisture. And that's where our anti-aging cream comes in. It brings that deep hydration. There's a key ingredient in there that actually, and it's similar, True Renew also has this ingredient. It has, after one use of using this ingredient, you get the same hydration as 2 weeks of using topical hyaluronic acid. So not only are you helping the skin's barrier, but you're also bringing that hydration and locking it in so that your skin can stay hydrated. But if you were just to kind of approach this from adding a hydration product, if your skin barrier is not intact, it's not even a Band-Aid. You're just kind of adding moisture and you're losing it, adding moisture and you're losing it.
I was joking earlier about using Irish Spring on my face. I don't do that. I use our True Science Beauty System.
I would judge you if you didn't.
And I do want to say, for any male viewers out there, even though it's called the Beauty System, That doesn't mean anything. Don't be scared of that word. Guys want to look good too. Like, I'm not trying to be beautiful, but I want to look as good as I can for as long as I can.
Exactly. You want your skin to like look its best.
Yeah, and especially in the winter. I don't want to be all dry and cracked skin. So yeah, I start with our cleanser, then I use the True Renew, then I take a second in between those two and I apply the eye serum.
Yes.
And then, like you were just saying, basically I use the anti-aging cream to kind of seal in all that moisture. So that's kind of my final step. So I totally agree with this approach.
Yes. And I think what a lot of people will do is they'll use something, especially as it starts getting dry in the winter, that's kind of what's called a skin protectant. So it's something that's heavy in petrolatum, or it's like chapstick on their lips, or things like that that are just barriers.
And greasy.
And just barriers.
Yeah.
And so the problem with that is if you're just providing a barrier to your skin, wherever it is, you're actually training your skin to not produce its own natural moisturizing factor and its own barrier components, because you're showing it, hey, I'm always going to take care of you with this product. You don't need to do anymore. The skin gets kind of lazy if you don't work with its natural processes. And so you actually end up getting addicted. Your skin gets addicted to those products.
I'm guilty. I am somewhat of a chapstick addict.
Yeah. And once you use it, you can never stop.
I know, like I can't stop. I have to keep using it.
Exactly. So. That's why people are using it 2, 3, 4 times a day, because your skin keeps adapting to it, because it's a smart organ, even though it's lazy sometimes.
So you don't want to just protect it. You want to like increase the health of your skin and its ability to create its own moisturizers and be supple and soft and all that.
Exactly. So it's the difference between supplementation and activation.
Right.
It's why our approach is more than just a Band-Aid approach. It's going to the source, that root of the problem, and actually addressing what's happening instead of just trying to fix the immediate symptoms.
Great, great. Okay, so we've covered kind of dry skin. Anything else you want to talk about there?
Yeah, I think we've got your solution for that. We've got all of the steps. I think that's pretty clear. So
another topic that we want to discuss, again, with the changing seasons, is our immune health. Like, there's lots of factors at play here, right? Like we're traveling for the holidays. We're in close quarters with lots of people from all over
fresh
the world.
Air.
Circulated air. Like, so how does that affect our immune health, and what are we susceptible to there?
Yeah, so studies have actually shown that as the weather gets colder, that our innate immune response actually slows down. And so in case you're not clear or don't know what the innate immune system is, it's really that first part of the body that responds to invaders. So it's your first line of defense. And so if it is not becoming as responsive as it should be, then your body is going to be much more susceptible to everything that's going around. And so you have this perfect storm of the innate immune response. It's like a tongue twister. Yeah. If this immune response is going down and all the factors are increasing,
or going up,
then you're going to get sick
perfect
more
recipe
often.
for a disaster.
And exactly. And especially when in the holidays where we have a million things to do, a million people to see, it is a kind of a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And so here at LifeVantage, we have several products that actually support our immune health, but I think you had some specific ones in mind that you wanted to discuss today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Healthy Glow. Because that's been, I mean, if you've been listening to any of our Activate Thursdays, that's been the topic. That's been the star that we've been talking about in combination with True Renew. And really, it's that new study that we did in January that was focusing on.
Yeah, why don't you explain that to me? Because for those of you that don't know, our Healthy Glow, it's a combination of our True Science liquid collagen and our Nerf 2 Synergizer, right?
Yes.
So when I think about those two products, True Collagen, obviously I think beauty from within. I want to have, beautiful, glowing, supple skin.
Minimize the appearance of lines and wrinkles.
Right. And with Nerf 2, I think about increasing my body's production of antioxidants like SOD, glutathione, catalase.
Yeah.
I guess I don't think immune health necessarily when I think of those two products. So please explain to me how they work together.
Yeah, definitely. Because that actually was the surprise when we tested the two products together and we saw the results that we did, because both products on their own did not impact these pathways. And so what we see with the body is that as age increases, as stress increases, especially stress, our cells tend to get caught up in cycles of stress. Because a normal response to stress is your body detects the stress through this innate immune system. It conquers the stress, it gets rid of it, and then it goes back to normal and kind of rests and recovers. That's the normal cycle. Your body's able to repair. Your body's still able to do all of its other functions great, but it has this heightened awareness when there are these stressors that come at it. However, for so many people and for so many cell types, especially the fibroblasts, which are these key cells that are found in connective tissue throughout our body. So every organ you can think of, there's fibroblasts in there. So that's how you can think about it. So this is a widespread problem. These cells tend to get caught up in stress. So they face the stressor, they respond, and then they stay in that heightened state of response. They never calm back down. They never do.
They continue to send out that stress signal.
Correct, because that's part of it is they communicate with the other fibroblasts in other parts of the body, and they're like alert.
So they're just keeping each other all amped up and anxious and
correct.
Gotcha.
And so as a result, they never have that recovery piece. They're always heightened, even when the stressor is removed. So you're just stressed out, full blown all the time. And so if you think of yourself when you get stressed out, like you can pretty much only handle the very nitty gritty things. Your body's worn out, your mind is worn out. You're not able to handle a whole lot.
You're just getting by. You're functioning at kind of your lowest level, right?
It's getting by. And so that's what really happens with your cells at this point is if they're caught up in that heightened cycle of stress, they're not being able to do the things they need to do. They're just barely getting by. They're not thriving. Your systems are not running the way they should. And so then when you are faced with kind of these outside threats during this winter season, close quarters, all of these pieces, your response is more sluggish.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be able to fight it off as well. You're going to feel it a lot more. Your body's just not working efficiently. So
what did we find when we combined Nerf 2 with liquid collagen?
Yeah, so when we tested them together, we saw that essentially we were able to break that stress cycle. Now, one thing I always am clear when I talk about this study is we didn't completely lower or remove the stress response. We need that stress response to occur.
That's a natural,
that's natural.
Yeah.
Because that's even part of the innate
That's part of your immune system, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to just totally turn it off. It needs to be alert, just not on high alert all the time.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And so what we saw is that response was more balanced. So one of the kind of key regulators of that immune response, that stress cycle response, NF-kappa B, we saw in multiple ways, and we won't get into too many of the details of the study today, but essentially that was lowered. So you have a lowered response, not gone, but lowered, more balanced response to stress. And so when your kind of overall stress response is lowered, then when there is actual threats, you're able to respond.
And your cells, I'm probably using the wrong word, but they know what is an actual threat and what's not.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're not busy fighting. So we can kind of think it almost as battles. They're not busy fighting 50 battles. They're focused on the one battle that matters,
right,
and they're able to put all of their forces towards that. So they're not spread thin. And so you're much more likely to get an optimized response and be able to actually take care of the threat and then be able to recover and get ready for the next threat.
And that's really interesting to me that, we've studied True Science Liquid Collagen, we've studied Protandim Nerf 2 Synergizer on their own, and neither one seemed to have any effect on those immune response pathways.
And that's what made it so interesting.
But combining them, they do have a very beneficial effect.
Yes, and that's what we keep seeing over and over again as we develop products that have activation as their differentiation, is that either they boost each other's functions, which we saw with our Tri-Synergizer, which is a group of our Nerf 2 Synergizer, Nerf 1 Synergizer, and NAD Synergizer. When you add all three of those together, they boost their individual functions of protecting, energizing, and cleaning out the cells. And we also have seen in other cases like this Nerf 2 and collagen that new benefits arise.
And even with our AMPM and Nerf 2, right? We saw synergies there.
Correct. Because when we were able to provide the body and the cells with the correct nutrients, the correct cofactors, activation was able to work better and more optimally. So it really just shows why all of our products have been created, because they all are working together in harmony to give you overall better health. Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. Like, I'm not a scientist, obviously I'm a marketing guy, but I know that our R&D team always works to ensure that there is an activation story in any product that we launch. And sometimes that's very intentional. They go after very certain aspects, but then sometimes after the fact, we discover these unexpected synergies that we were not looking for and didn't intend, but are really welcome, right?
Yes, and that's actually one of the things there's multiple things we keep in mind when we develop products here at LifeVantage, and nutrigenomically active is number one. So it's either activating something or helping to support activation. Right. So it kind of fits within that framework. But like you said, we do a lot of intentional work on that, but then new things do pop
And
up.
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't like a happy surprise?
Well,
right?
exactly. And what made the Nerf 2 and collagen so cool is that we didn't even test the two of them together until we heard anecdotes from folks that were using both of the products together and were seeing these unexpected benefits. So they were really demonstrable results. And we're like, that doesn't, like, we can't explain
seeing
that.
results not just in their appearance, but in the way their bodies felt and their movement, their joints, things like that.
Exactly. Things that didn't quite connect to just one product alone. And the common denominator was using these two products together. And that's what spurred the study, and because we wanted to figure out what caused it.
Right.
And so then once we got the results and we saw this kind of breaking that cellular stress cycle, we realized, okay, that's the explanation for all of these benefits that we've seen.
Great. So again, back to how I was originally thinking about True Collagen as beauty from within, make me pretty, and Nerf 2 help me create my own antioxidants. Third component, immune response, right? The two together are actually a really great immune support system.
What's funny, what's popping to my head right now is when we did our global convention, one of our SAB members, Don D. Nettles, gave this presentation about these two products, and he described it as like making your cells like Chuck Norris.
Like Chuck Norris, yeah.
Like making them like kind of
like
not vulnerable anymore.
No, like a superstar that
strength can take on anything.
Yeah.
And so as you were talking, that's what was popping
Chuck
into
Norris.
Chuck Norris was popping into my head. And so you can really just think of this as if you take these two products together, you're getting the benefits of each, but you're really getting this third bonus benefit.
We'll have to give credit to Don D, and he tells the jokes better than we do.
Oh,
He's got tons of Chuck Norris jokes. So,
and there were some really great images showing Chuck Norris on cells. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So ask him about it, and he can give you the whole lowdown on it.
All right. So to recap, we're entering the winter season, or it's basically already here. If you're facing dry skin and you want to protect your skin barrier, skin moisture barrier, use a gentle cleanser that's not going to strip it of its essential oils, like our True Science cleanser.
Exactly. Support that natural moisture barrier and help kind of your skin from within be strengthened.
So True Renew is going to do that for you. It's going to support the moisture barrier, but also help you to have 11 visibly signs of aging removed. You're going to look amazing and
exactly.
glowing.
We're not going to just help you with dry skin. We're going to be handling all the things.
We want you to look good too. That's
exactly.
And then finally, seal that moisture barrier with our anti-aging cream, right?
Exactly. After one use, get the same amount of hydration that you'd get as 2 weeks of using hyaluronic acid. And
when you're thinking of immune health during this busy travel season, changing weather patterns, exposure to people that you're not usually around, obviously we have great products like Daily Wellness, but also consider Healthy Glow, which you may already be on for other reasons, but now you know there's actually a really strong immune support benefit to those two products when they are combined together.
Yeah, so True Science, Healthy Glow, you'll be prepared for winter. There's that quick summary.
Well, I hope that your turkey trot or whatever it's called went well. I hope that I survived my heated spin class, and we hope that all of you out there have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon.